Okay, when we're asked to order decimals, we need to compare them. So say we're ordering decimals. And let's say we're given 2 decimals like this, 0.68, 0.7. And we want to know which one's greater and which one's smaller. So we first see whether or not we have the same number of decimal places, and we don't. Right here we have 2 out past the decimal point, and here we only have 1, so we can add a 0 to fill it up, right? So now both of these numbers have 2 decimal places out behind the decimal point. Then we simply take a look at this number, 68 versus 70, and we know automatically that 70 is bigger than 68, or 68 is less than 70, so we put our less than sign. If we have these 2 numbers here, 3.462, and we have 3.4619. Again, we could take a, oops, there's a 2 here. We could take a look to see how many, this one is the same, right? 6 is the same. And then the first place that changes is this one, right? So one has a 2, one has a 9, so this one's bigger. If we have a negative decimal, negative 0.2, and negative 0.05, again, we look to see how many places we have behind a decimal, but now we're working with negative numbers, right? So this one only has 1 place, so I'm going to put a 0 after that too. So 20 is bigger than 5, right? So 20 is more negative. 0.2 is more negative than 0.05. If it's more negative, it's a smaller number. So 0.2 is less than negative 0.2 is less than negative 0.05. And finally, if we have another number like this, negative 0.04591 and negative 0.0459, we match up, right? 4 is the same, 5 is the same, 9 is the same, and here we have a 1, so we could put a 0 there, because we can always add zeros afterwards, doesn't change it. And so this one is larger, right, than a 0, so it's also more negative. So if it's more negative, it's smaller. Okay. And the last thing we're going to talk about is rounding decimals. And this is just like rounding our numbers. And depending on which place value you want to round it to. So let's take, for example, we want to round the number 14.75 to the 10th place. So let's pull out, where is our 10th place, right? There's our 10th place. So the question is, do we keep it there, or do we change it to an 8? And to do that, again, you always look at the number next to it, right, which is this 5. Remember the number to the right of it, if it's 5 or more, we round up. Right, so this changes to an 8, and then the 5 goes away, so we have 14.8. Right, and that's the 10th place. Now if we were asked to round let's say 14.795 to the hundredths. So now I'm looking at the hundredths place. That's the place that I need to determine. Does it go up or does it stay the same? And I do the exact same thing where I look at the number to the right. So that's 5, right? So again, we're going to round up. But how do we round up from 9? 9 goes to 10, right? So this is where we round up and we carry. So this becomes 10. It's a 0. But that means that I have to add a 1 to my 7, so it goes up to 0.8. So this also rounds up to 14.80. And that would be my hundredths place. Let's do one more. I do round 4.81542 to thousandths. Here's tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. Right? So that's the place I need to look at. That's where I want to round to, so I look at the number next to it. Since that's less than 5, I don't round up. I just keep everything the same, 815, and I get rid of the numbers behind it. And so that's rounded to the nearest thousandths. Okay, so that's pretty much it for rounding, and I hope this helped.